What's up, family? Welcome to Slash TV. This episode is dedicated to the brave men and women that put their lives on the line for June 19th to be recognized as a national holiday. This dream has really been a marathon. From our great-grandparents, to our grandparents, to our parents, and to us. Please join me in a moment of silence to recognize these brave men and women on this special day. Thank you for joining me in a moment of silence. Now, let's get on the street and find out from random people what this day or what June 19th means to them. See you on the street. It's Slash TV. What's up, family? Welcome to Slash TV. So, we are around Baltimore Inner Harbor, asking random people random questions about June 19th becoming a public holiday. So the first question is, what are your thoughts and feelings about June 19th becoming a public holiday? The second question is, what does June 19th becoming a public holiday, what does it mean to you? The third question is, how do you think we can address systematic racism? And the last question is, do you think making June 19th a holiday is a step closer for a change in our nation? Well, these are the 4 questions that I'll be going around asking random people in Baltimore today. So sit back, relax. It's Slash TV. We'll be right back. Hello, family. It's still Slash TV. So we're in downtown Federal Hill, Maryland. And the question of the day is, I have 4 questions for this gentleman right here. What do you think about June 19th becoming a national holiday?
Well, I think it's very important because of what people endured to get here, and how late we found out about the fact that slaves were free and didn't find out until 2 or 3 years later. So it's just important to recognize it's a part of Black Lives Matter.
Okay.
And so it's just a very important holiday for people to take off, do whatever they need to do, recognize it, understand what it represents, and the fact that they are standing on other people's shoulders that got them.
Okay, thank you. The second question is, what does today or June 19th, what does it mean to you?
To me, it means a reflection of what we have gone through as people, what we have done to build this country, to get it to the point where it is. And so for me, it's a day of reflection to remember what our ancestors went through.
Wow, that's awesome. So the third question is, what do you think we can do to address systematic racism?
Part of it is to address the inequalities through our people in Congress.
Okay.
The body of Congress, from a racial perspective, has changed.
Okay.
There's more representation as far as women and other minorities, and I think that we need to understand that's the first step for us to go to get change in this country, to enact laws that benefit us and create social inequality, equality for us in income.
Okay.
That's the starting point.
Okay, that's great. And the last question is, do you think making June 19th a holiday gets us in the closer directions of change?
It's part of the step. I think the big step is reparation. If this country does reparation, okay, so we got the little June 19th, but let them do reparation to give us an even flip that so many other people of other races have had in this country that we need to have in this country.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
You're
I really
welcome.
do appreciate the time.
Right.
What is your thoughts about and feelings about June 19th becoming a national holiday?
I think it's a great thing. It should have happened a long time ago, but I'm glad it happened now. It's great.
Okay, you heard it. It's a great thing. And the second question is, what does June 19th being a state holiday or public holiday means? What does it mean to you?
Well, I would hope since all the federal workers got off, I hope that any of the other employees that work in the state or Maryland or anywhere else in the U.S. get time and a half.
Time and a half.
Not for me, I'm salary, but anybody else.
Anybody else get a time and a half. So, it's kind of be equal across the board. Okay, the third question is, how do you think Or how do you think you can address systematic racism?
How can I address it? Or how can I address it?
Address it.
I guess the best way for me to address it is to try to move my way up and get in positions, or all of us should get in positions that are typically white dominant, such as police officers, lawyers, judges, things like that, and those make more of an immediate impact than people think. I think it'll do more of an immediate help. I think it'll just be. First, I believe that the history behind it needs to be taught. I don't think everybody really knows the history behind it.
Okay.
So that needs to be put out first. And then once that gets put out first, then everybody kind of fall through, getting those positions.
Okay. So the last question is, do you think making June 19th a holiday is a step closer to change in the nation?
It depends on what kind of change you're talking about. Paper change, yeah. Actual physical realistic change, one small little inch forward, I guess that counts.
Okay, so you think it's in the right direction so far?
Yeah, I mean on paper it looks good, but I don't think we'll see how it works out.
Okay. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your time.
Appreciate you.
I have this gentleman hear me. What's your name, sir?
Nick.
Nick. What's your name?
Emily.
Emily. So I have Nick and Emily here. And the first question is, what is your thought about June 19th becoming a public holiday?
For America, I think it's really important.
Okay.
So now June 19th being recognized as a holiday, it's a freedom day for everybody. So I think it's a step in the right direction.
Step in the right direction. Thank you very much. What about you?
I mean, I think it all comes down to what Nick was saying. It's this recognition of a really important day. It highlights a group of people that were disenfranchised, and it brings recognition to the progress, small bit of progress. There's still a lot to do.
A lot to be done. Okay, a lot to be done. Okay, so the second question is, what does June 19 becoming a public holiday, what does it mean to you?
I think it means, I would say it means that we need to do a little bit more. It is a step in the right direction, but beyond just celebration, there should be a lot of growth, a lot of learning, a lot of seeking out more information about, the injustices that we face, that others face. So it being recognized as a holiday, I think that is a nod or a tip on the hat to say, hey, let's do a little bit more with it.
Okay. What about you?
I mean, I don't want to keep copying what Nick's saying, but once again, it's doing the progress. It's taking that step forward. It's also recognizing that, we need to educate our youth about why it is a holiday, and, people need to know history. So
yes, so you heard it. We need to educate the youth about why June 19th is a holiday. Okay, the third question is, how do you think we can address systematic racism?
Oh, every day.
Every day.
And that didn't answer the question. Every day we have to try and understand somebody else. So somebody who doesn't look like you, doesn't act like you, doesn't do the same things you do. To address systemic racism is to be more comfortable with things that are unfamiliar to you.
Oh, okay. Be more comfortable with things that are not familiar to you. What about you?
I think it's talking about it. It's being vulnerable about the fact that you don't understand everyone's reality. And, taking a step forward and trying to recognize that, understand that, your background, everybody's background's different.
So. Okay. Thank you. The last question is, I don't want to hold you guys too much. The last question is, do you think making June 19th a holiday is a step forward in the right direction for the nation?
I do think it's a step forward. I do think that it's I had a conversation with a gentleman at work. I said, man, we're celebrating Freedom Day. And they're like, well, that's the 4th of July. And I was like, not for all of us. So that conversation came from the fact that it was a holiday. So yes.
So education, a lot of education. We need to be educated about why June 19th is a holiday. What about you?
No, I think it's super important. My company doesn't recognize it as we don't get it off. I took the day off as a recognition of that. Wow. So I think, the more we recognize it, the more we talk about it, hopefully the more progress we're going to make.
Okay, so education, education, education. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your help for allowing me to invite you to my YouTube channel. Thank you.
If I could say, this sounds like a great YouTube channel. This guy's out here speaking good words, so keep it up.
/TV. It's /TV.
The marathon is just about seeing long term, seeing a vision, understanding that nothing really worthwhile happens overnight, and just sticking to your script long enough to make something real happen. Laying a brick every day instead of trying to build a brick wall. Just lay a brick every day. Eventually you look up, you're gonna have a brick wall.